So moving along in our estate series, we've just talked about some of the areas where you can look to find the will. However, what happens if during your investigation process you come across two wills? Now what? What we often see is when someone is near death or knows that they're ill, often we will see these people formulate a new will. And this often happens because they know that they could be passing away in the near future. And so what would happen if you find two wills? The most common approach would be that the most recent will is the current will, and that's the one that you would use. However, we often see in these situations where someone is nearing death, they change their will, they pass away, the will is read, and often if the beneficiaries are not given assets that they are expecting, this is when the will could be contested. And I often see this occurring when we have a split family. So either the new spouse or the adult children weren't awarded assets that they had expected that they would inherit in that will, and they consider contesting. And so in saying that, whether you're contesting a will or you've just found the will, you have to make sure it's valid. And what a valid will means is that it is signed and properly witnessed, as well as the deceased has to be of sound mind when they're completing their will. And we often find that when people are near death, they complete their will, that one of those beneficiaries who might feel that they've been treated unfairly can contest the will and state that the deceased person wasn't of sound mind when they were changing their will, or that they were coerced into changing their will in a manner that they really didn't understand, and it was in the best interest of the person that helped them change the will and not the original beneficiaries. So before you decide or consider contesting a will, I always recommend that you consult legal advice. This process could be very lengthy and very costly, and it's important to talk to a professional about whether you feel that there is actual grounds for contesting a will and what the situation is. So once you do locate the will, whether it's one will or two wills, the next step is just to validate the will, make sure it is valid as far as witnesses and it was completed when the deceased was of sound mind. Then you can move forward into the next step of the estate process.